to you by Epic Adventure Outfitters.
Since we changed and threw a bumper and a winch on, as you can see, we've probably come down a little bit, and I need some clearance. So instead of changing anything around, we're gonna modify these fenders. I was just gonna get out the Sawzall and make my own clearance, but Landon, our installer and product designer, told me there's a better way. Okay, so all cutting jokes aside, I knew exactly what I wanted to do from day one of getting the Jeep. So, that said, I ran into a company called American Adventure Labs when I was down at SEMA a couple years ago, and their product is phenomenal. I just hadn't had a chance to use it on a build of mine because just none fit that style I wanted to go with. But nice thing about it is they also agree that this build is perfect for their product. So, let's take a look. As you can see here, we have a gorgeous bracket. I like how they use the welded on logo instead of like a normal cut through like a lot of people, just something different. Beautiful new light for the fender that does sequential turning. With the help of that light and removing a lot of clips and screws and plastic rivets, we should have a totally different style on our Mojave. So now that you can see, we've removed the inner fender and the light, and now we only have to remove all leftover destroyed clips and strip this thing. And not everything is clipped or screwed on. There's a lot of plastic welding we're gonna have to rip apart. Okay, so after shredding this thing by tearing every piece of plastic off it, we only got one wound. I'm only bleeding once, so we must not be doing too bad. And on the floor, we've got plastic everywhere. So after you strip out all the stuff that's plastic welded on the inside, you get this nice clean finished fender, but there is a ton of clips and push pins all along the outside. So the best way to do that, nice set of snap-on flush cut side cutters. If you have a snap-on guy in your area, you can probably go on there and remortgage your house for a pair of these. Now that we've stripped both front sides, now it's onto the back, because clearly we can't just do one side. That wouldn't make any sense. Now that we got all the fenders off and we're ready to move to South Florida, as you can see, we could go to Jeep Beach and fit in just well. We've got enough tire poke. Not that I don't mind having a lot of tire poke, but if I drove home like this today, I'd be impounded before I made it home. And I only live 15 minutes away. 3 hours later, we now have the inner fenders unpacked. And despite the way it looks, no, I'm not assembling a Cybertruck. I ordered it all in bare metal because we're gonna have to modify it possibly to fit some of the Mojave parts that are different than other Gladiators. No modifications are required for the rear. They fit just like a normal Gladiator. As for the front though, we do have issues with the front bracket. Not anything major, just you gotta be aware that you're going to have to creatively relocate or move it around the reservoir hose and the wiring harness that's attached to it, and just find it a new home, making sure it doesn't rub up against any sharp objects or get kinked in any way. Through the magic of film and editing, it's been 8 days for me and about 15 seconds for you. So we've already gotten back all of our inner fenders from Powdercoat. And then during that time, I had an idea that I didn't really want to put back on the painted flares. They're not going to hold up well to where we're wheeling currently. If you've seen the last Kong Blue Gladiator video, you'll see nothing on that held up well to the tree scratches, both the paint or the fenders. So I went over to a company across from White Rock Dodge called Splashes. They specialize in detailing, paint protection, bed liner, and all that. So we dropped them off my fenders, and they did an amazing job of paint matching bed liner to them. And it turned out great. And while I was there, they were like, we can do something to help you not look like Kong in the side. So I said, sure, I'll give anything a try. So our Gladiator here is now completely wrapped on the side in clear paint protection film that is self-healing. As you can see, we've assembled the really nice light textured black inner fenders, and we also opted for the black hardware, so you won't see any of that stainless hardware with black. Keep a nice clean theme going here. We're now going to hold them all up and mark which holes to put the other brackets in that hold them on, so we know which holes to drill out and put in the nutserts. So we've test fit everything, and we've marked it all with different color paints, so we know which we don't have to drill and put a nutsert in and which we do. So now we're just gonna drill out the hole one step size up so we can fit the nutsert and put in a whole bunch of nutserts. Gotta do the wiggle test. So this is a nutsert. Some people may call them riv nuts. Now that we've got all the nutserts done, all the brackets are installed, preparing, now we can start installing the fenders, which go on first, and then the inner fenders. Nice clips that are going to go in place of the factory clips because we didn't want to use white clips.
So what's the story? Fender first? Or?
Yeah, fender goes on first. So these clips, what looks like 3D printed, they fit right in it and lock into that hole. This is the passenger side bracket for the inner fender. It has to be put on with the fender first, so it'll be part of the way holding it all together.
When you're ready.
We have completed our American Adventure Lab Fender install with the inner fenders all customed up. I'll go over it for you so you can see the extra little details we decided to do. Here in the front, you can see that really nice paint to match bed liner from Splashes. Here you can see we had Chris over at Black Cherry custom paint all our vents so they are a nice orange color like our tow hooks. and to just see how good of a painter he is, I watched him hand mix this color in the parking lot. We had to do no extra trimming because this was a Mojave. The only thing we had to do is we had to just adjust the routing, just a bit of this hose here and one of the wires that went through there. Now, would it be a little harder to take these quick disconnect fenders off of a Mojave? Yes, but realistically it's like 2 extra 10 mil bolts, not a big deal. Come to the back. There again, we see that awesome orange vent. That inner fender is such a nice fit. Held in by the Zeus fittings, where they just literally like quarter turn, they pop right out nicely, which makes them a quick release inner fender. I think each one needs about 6 removed and the fender comes out. We opted for the black hardware and the retention hardware for the fenders instead of just using the clips. Now that all said, you do not have to go to this extent. You could literally just go buy the American Adventure Labs light kit and put it in your vehicle, run no fenders, run your factory painted flare or your textured gray plastic fender, and you'd be fine. Or you could probably even find a way to custom fit the factory plastic inner fenders if you're creative enough. We just went the extra little bit and got every little piece touched and done right because, well, it's mine and that's just the way it's gonna be. So obviously it's not just because we wanted some tire clearance. We really wanted these sick lights. Like, look how much cleaner that is. And when we're using the turn signal. Look at that. It's like Knight Rider. In closing, I love how these fenders turned out on this Mojave. Even better than I could have imagined. I think it really helped going the extra mile with the powder coat and the color matched logos with the bed linered fenders. I think it really brought it all together. If you want to get fenders that look this good, just contact American Adventure Labs. Unless you're in Canada, then give us a call. If you want to see more videos like this, or see what we keep doing with this Mojave or even the other Gladiator or future vehicles, smash that subscribe button, hit like on the video, throw some comments, see what we're doing right, see if we need to change anything or some things you'd like to see us do. Trust me, we got a lot more stuff coming.
Looking for an epic Jeep? Give us a call. Please be kind and smash that like button. And hey, we have an online store. Check it out.